Hi, this is Lanier Smith from Sense Memory, and this evening we're going to be talking about Chanel's Pour Monsieur Concentree, which was created in 1989. The reason I wanted to talk about this particular fragrance is because a friend of mine from Fragrantica, known as Mr. Crazy Legs, has been talking to me on one of the videos that we had earlier about his love of this particular fragrance, and evidently I introduced him to it. So it got me thinking about what this fragrance means to me. So I'm going to tell you a little story. It all begins way back in 1971 when I was in college, and in those days, the scents that people wore in my age group were frangipani oil, patchouli oil, or they just smelled like marijuana. The Thanksgiving of that particular year, we came down from school into the Bay Area, and I was visiting friends, and went into a drugstore one day, and in those days, believe it or not, Chanel was sold in the drugstores. They went through a short period where somebody in marketing decided that they wanted to get it out to more people, so the Chanel No. 5 and this particular, or the father of this particular perfume or cologne, was sold in drugstores. And I was looking around the drugstore and I saw this little bottle about this big of what was then called Chanel for Men. And that was originally, before the 70s, was called Chanel Pour Monsieur, and it was created by Henri Robert in 1955. And that little bottle of Chanel Pour Monsieur cost $25, and in those days, $25 for a starving art student was a lot of money. And I had the $25, but if I spent that $25, I had to kind of be careful what I ate for a couple of weeks. So I smelled it, and I thought, God, if it's good enough, Chanel's good enough for Marilyn Monroe and my mom and my aunts, I'm going to get this because it smells damn fabulous. So I got it. And I went back to school, and people would smell it on me and say, what the is that? It smells fantastic. And I say, Chanel Pour Monsieur, and they're like, smell him. Anyway, the flash forward to the 80s. I was wearing it from 71 through the 80s until 1989. I went to buy a new bottle, and that little bottle was gone, and this was in its place. So a little bit about Henri Robert's creation from 1955. It had top notes of peony, lemon, verbena, and included petitgrain and lavender. The mid notes were coriander, ginger, basil, and cardamom. And the bottom notes were vetiver, oak moss, cedar, and that was it. Now in '89, they created more, not a reformulation, I would say, but more or less a flanker or a inspired by. I don't know why they stopped the production of the 1955 version, but what we were presented with was Concentree, Pour Monsieur Concentree, and those the notes were pared down to simply be top notes of petitgrain, lavender, and mandarin orange. The mandarin orange replacing the lemon verbena. The mid notes were cardamom, and nutmeg, and the basis of opoponax, vanilla, oak moss, and vetiver. Now, this was my signature scent until I got into the world of fragrance heavily about 2 years ago. So this was all I wore. There were a couple of other things I wore, but this was basic. This was my go-to. So needless to say, I have a great history with it. I really love this fragrance, and it is simply beautiful. It's old school but still modern enough for anybody of any age to wear it, to rock it out, and really present a very elegant, sharp, sophisticated image when a man wears this. I don't even think a woman could get away with it. It's really a beautiful scent on any skin. Everyone that has ever worn it that I've known has smelled fabulous. Anyway, it is this creation by Jacques Polge, I forgot to mention that too, who created Jacques Polge, is a beautiful example of looking back to the great Henri Robert, and it is about the history of male glamour, strength, and style in a bottle. And in its reinterpretation by Jacques Polge, all of that is still there. It's a wonderful scent, and I highly recommend it. This is Lanier Smith, and remember, wear what you love, not what they say you should like.